How do you like it?
Hey guys, Goshuki here. Just wanted to talk a little bit about my Nacon Revolution Pro settings that I use when I play games, mostly Destiny, but other first-person shooters and things like that. I've been using the Nacon Revolution Pro controller for some months now, and I've been asked a couple times what settings I like to use, and I've been given a couple settings to try from others here on YouTube, and just wanted to make a quick video about the results and some settings I've tried and some that may work for you. Again, these settings are settings that work best for me. If something works better for you, that's great, and obviously you can let me know because I'm still playing around with it. There's still a lot of tweaking you can do, and I'm definitely happy to try some new ones and see what you guys are using. These settings are mainly what I use in Destiny because that's really what I play the most. But I'm sure they'll work great in other first-person shooters. First, I wanted to start off with some of the settings I tried that just didn't really work out for me. These settings were either recommended by people here on YouTube or just the ones that Nacon had that you could download from their website that were already pre-made. The first one I tried was the Destiny layout from Nacon. I would say I first got the controller, wasn't sure what I was doing, went in to see what kind of profiles were available, and they had a Destiny one. So here we have it. From the right joystick, we have a static dead zone of 5 and a response curve of 25, 50, and 25. And then we got some low sensitivity. And I'll go back and preface and say that we are going to be mainly looking at the right stick and the triggers and the button mapping, which I kind of picked a button mapping that I liked and I kind of set across all of them. But we'll look at what other people have kind of been using and what the settings are on here. Moving on to the mapping in this pre-made settings here from Nacon. We've got the back buttons M1 and M3. Those are going to be the two easy ones to hit. Those are both going to be X. And then the upwards ones, which are a little harder to hit, we got M2 is going to be triangle, M4 is going to be square. Now, I left it just to try it. I changed it a little bit, and I'll show you what I use in a little bit. But this is what they have as the default on their settings. I also want to real quick say that you can do macros for the buttons. I haven't had too much time to play around with them much, and I'm not sure where I would benefit using those, but this is where they would show up, and then in the last video I kind of showed you where you would set those up and how you would set those up. So I'm not going to talk about it too much on this one since I didn't have a real preference for them yet. Finally, on this profile for the triggers, they were set to start at 0 and at 50. So that basically means you don't have to press the triggers all the way down for them to shoot. A lot of the settings use this, but some are a little different, and we'll look at some of those a little later. But overall, this profile did not fully work for me. It was a nice starting point to getting my own profile and what I like to play with. But overall, definitely give it a try, especially if you play Destiny, because obviously it was made for Destiny. These next settings were from a user that commented on my first video about the Nacon Revolution Pro and told me to kind of try these out. And I have to say these were definitely quite different than anything I've ever used. Not to say they're bad, definitely give them a try, but they definitely didn't really work out for me. So here we have a static dead zone of 0. But what was really weird was the response curve. I don't want to say weird, but just different. We got 20, 25, 55 with low sensitivity. And then we also, for the triggers, he had something different as well. We had a 10 start for the triggers, and it ended at 60. So definitely something not ordinary, and I definitely like that it's different, but it just didn't really work out for me. But something to try. Definitely something to try. He didn't comment on what he used for the back buttons, so I just kind of used my own thing with that. But again, just give it a try. It's definitely something that works for someone, and it may work for you. Moving right along, we have another one that was recommended on my video in the comments from another YouTube user. This one was a little better for me. We have a static dead zone of 0. The response curve is 25, 50, 25, which I've actually seen a lot of people say they use. And it was pretty good. We had some low sensitivity, and it felt pretty good overall. Definitely the best so far out of the ones I've covered for me. And then with the triggers, they went with a 0 to 50, so that's kind of common with settings on the Nacon Revolution, or just in general with like hair trigger usage. And finally, the one I'm using the most now, and just I think the one I'm going to stick with. I've tried a lot more. I'm still going to try other ones in the future. It's something I'll be playing with a lot, but this is what I've been using. This is what I'm using in the video. We have the default settings for the Nacon Revolution Pro. Static dead zone on the right stick is 2. Response curve is 33, 33, 34. Low sensitivity. We got 0 to 50 hair triggers. Honestly, this is the one that feels the most comfortable to me. I know it sounds weird, and I'm probably, a lot of people use other settings, but honestly, just the default, I've gotten used to it, and it feels the best to me for whatever reason. And here's what I use for the back buttons. So the main right one I use as X or jump in Destiny. The main left one I use as circle or duck, dodge. And then I like square to be on M2 and triangle to be on M1. So try it out. That's what's been working for me. Overall, again, I got the controller mainly because of those back buttons. These are the settings I use. And I like the weight of the controller, and overall I'm enjoying it. It's my favorite controller, so definitely check it out. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, and that's it for today.